May I come in, sir?
Yeah, please come.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Ishita, is it?
Yes, sir.
Ishita, your father was assistant sub-inspector?
Yes, sir.
Where? Which?
Sir, Delhi Police in the 7th Battalion,
Okay.
near the PM House.
Oh, that's a sensitive location.
Yes.
Did you take any interest in his work?
Sir, I usually interact with him, asking about the work culture in the police department.
And how many years did you speak to him about his work?
Sir, I started taking interest after class 10th when I
Right.
decided that I would be joining civil services.
Right,
So then I started asking him about his work.
right. Did you ask him the difference between the police working in a police commissionerate system, which is Delhi, and a non-commissionerate system, which is most of the states?
Sir, I'm familiar with it. In the commissionerate system,
Yeah.
the
Did you
entire...
ask him about how he felt?
No,
What was
sir,
his view?
I did not ask him.
He must have worked under both systems.
Sorry, sir, I'll ask him
Okay.
when I go back.
All right. Quite often opinion is still divided on that issue.
Yes,
You've done
sir.
eco, is it?
Yes, sir.
And that too from very good institutes.
Yes, sir.
And you're postgraduate also in economics.
Yes, sir.
The Ukraine effect on Indian economy, what would you say is the most serious economic impact?
Yes, sir. Sir, economic impact is largely indirect in terms of increase in the fuel and the crude oil prices.
Okay.
Along with that, there would be a significant dip in the palladium industries raw material,
Right.
which is coming mostly from Ukraine.
Okay. On the political front?
So New Delhi is walking a tightrope. They are playing a balancing act because we have good relation both with Russia as well as United States. So we want to remain neutral in our stand in terms of Russia-Ukraine crisis.
And what has happened to North Atlantic Treaty Organization as a result of this conflict?
Yes, sir.
Foreign
Ukraine.
service is your second preference, isn't it?
Sorry, sir.
Foreign service or
Yes, sir.
police is your second preference?
Sir, foreign services.
Foreign service.
Yes, sir. So Ukraine has said that they would not be joining NATO, thus
Yeah, no,
alleviating
what
the
did it
major.
do to NATO as NATO, not NATO with the Ukraine? What has been the impact on NATO
Yes, sir.
of the Ukraine conflict?
Sir, I think NATO would not be extending in the Eastern Europe. So they will be honoring the agreement that they have made in the 1990s with Russia.
Why do you feel that the Western side has not put boots on the ground in Ukraine? You know the meaning of boots on the ground?
Yes, sir.
So why have they not done that?
Sir, I think in the foreign policy, everyone is conducting themselves in terms of their national interest. So it was not in the national interest of the West to put boots on ground.
Okay, let's come back to India, domestic issues. Since you've done economics, list out 3 of the most major problems that India is facing.
Yes, sir.
List them in order of priority, whatever you consider the most important, give that first.
Yes, sir. So the first priority is get back growth to the pre-pandemic level and then achieve our target of $5 trillion economy. Second would be the problem of unemployment as well as the disguised unemployment that we are facing. And so third would be a push of the manufacturing sector in order to achieve both our targets of growth as well as unemployment.
What about poverty alleviation?
Yes, sir.
Have you subsumed it under disguised unemployment, or do you treat it as a separate factor?
Sir, I think poverty is both a social as well as the economic priority of the Indian government as well as the Indian economy. It is the first sustainable development goal that we have to achieve by
Right.
2030.
Okay. Now, the rest of the board will interact with you. Okay. Sadish.
Ishita, you did your graduation from LSR
Yes, sir.
and then you moved to Chennai. Why is it so? You did not get admission in Delhi University? So
So
was it
Madras, Madras School of Economics is a premier institute. It is recognized both in the industry as well as the academic circle. It has also got the status of special importance by Government of Tamil Nadu. Sir, I looked at the course structure and I found it very interesting. The choice of elective was very interesting there. So besides that, I thought it would be a great opportunity to live in one of the southern states and experience their culture and tradition.